Ethan's idealized first love was back, and everyone was ridiculing me, saying a divorce was imminent. I just smiled, with a composed grace. I welcomed her into our home, then handed Ethan the divorce papers. I find it dirty. For 3 years, Ethan and I had been the model couple everyone in our circle envied. Today was my birthday. The clock hands pointed to 11, but the entrance remained quiet. I was somewhat surprised. A while later, I saw why Ethan hadn't returned in a social media post. Chloe had posted a picture of her and Ethan, standing center, her arm tightly linked through his. She leaned against him like a small woman, and Ethan's eyes held a rare tenderness. They truly looked like a golden couple, after all these years, just like old times. Beneath it were countless likes and comments. The very first one read, "Congratulations, Ethan, after 3 years. His true love has finally returned, so that's why he was absent today, with his rightful partner back." I, the stand-in, became utterly superfluous. I calmly cleared everything from the table and returned to the bedroom. Lying in bed, I started planning my future. Chloe's return meant my stolen 3 years were over. How should I draft the divorce papers? I didn't want him to be caught in a tug-of-war. I only wished for him to be happy, free and clear, untainted by worries. When returned, I was fast asleep, only vaguely feeling the other side of the bed dip. A cold touch brushed my cheek. "Happy birthday, Sophie." He made it for my last birthday. The next morning, we tacitly avoided mentioning the previous day's events. "There's a gift for you on the table," Ethan said before leaving. I opened it to find a pink diamond. In our first year of marriage, H asked me what gift I wanted to reward my good behavior. I thought about it and said I wanted a pink diamond, one he would give me. My fingers trembled slightly. I didn't dare touch the item in the box. In the days that followed, Ethan came home late every night, each time later than the last. He always carried an unknown air of hostility. I was certain it wasn't because of me. I wasn't powerful enough to provoke such strong emotions in him. I found a lawyer and drafted the divorce papers. I wanted nothing but that pink diamond. The day I decided to give him the divorce papers, I waited for him all night in the living room. But he never came home. The message on my phone remained my solo performance. "Come home early tonight. I have something important to tell you." "It's okay, I'll wait." When opened the door and saw me in the living room, he paused. "You waited for me all night." I nodded. "I'm sorry." A flicker of guilt crossed Ethan's eyes. "I lost my phone yesterday. I should have told you, but it was too late, and I didn't want to disturb you." "It's all right." I looked at him. "It's the same now that you're back." Ethan took off his jacket, shedding the cold. "You must be exhausted, Sophie. Waiting for me so long." It seemed he hadn't seen the message I sent him. "Ethan, take a look at this. If there are no issues, just sign it." Waiting all night had frayed my nerves. The sooner this was over, the sooner I could rest. Ethan, looking rather clueless, took the papers from me, but the 5 bold words on the cover left him speechless. He abruptly dropped the papers. "You want a divorce?" 3 years together allowed me to sense that Ethan was trying his best to control himself at that moment. "Sophie, you're not running a fever, are you?" He looked at me incredulously, then he said, almost as if it were a matter of course, "I know I've neglected you these past few days. I've just been swamped with company matters. You understand, don't you?" I walked closer, raising my hand to touch the scar near Ethan's eye. "Ethan, wouldn't it be better to part ways amicably?" "Sophie, you're not thinking clearly right now. We can discuss this when you're lucid." With that, Ethan left the house without looking back, his retreating figure almost like a panicked escape. I'm always decisive, since wouldn't accept them. I sent the divorce papers directly to his company via courier service, then packed my belongings and moved back to my old place, a cobblestone alley, flanked by old brick houses, fine rain drifting down, water dripping from the eaves. Pushing open the door, the faint smell of mildew in the air made me feel disoriented for a moment. "Sophie, everyone in this alley is moving out soon. When are we going to move?" "Move? Why? This place is wonderful. I'd love to grow old here." "All right, if you want to stay here, I'll stay with you." In the evening, at dusk, I sat quietly in the courtyard, listening to the wind. Suddenly, a phone call shattered the tranquility. "Sophie, Ethan's had too much to drink. When are you taking him home?" It was Ethan's assistant. Usually, when Ethan drank too much at business dinners, it'd be the one to pick him up. Everyone still didn't know about our impending divorce, so the call came to me. Hey, Ethan, don't throw up." A flurry of panic erupted on the other end of the line. I frowned. Threw up. I knew Ethan's tolerance for alcohol. How could he have thrown up? After much hesitation, I finally said, just send me the address. I couldn't bear to see him in such a state. The alley's location was somewhat remote, making it hard to find a taxi, especially at night after several detours. I finally found the place. What's wrong with you all? Why did you let him drink so much? Was that Chloe's voice? Ethan, please get up. Let's go home. Just as everyone was chattering, I pushed open the private room door. Chloe turned her head too. This was the first time I'd properly seen Chloe. She had a round face with large, almond-shaped eyes, perfectly proportioned everywhere, making her look innocent and pure, but I really couldn't see any resemblance between us. Ethan must be blind. You are? Chloe asked, a hint of bewilderment in her eyes, genuinely appearing not to recognize me. Hello, miss. I am Ethan's ex-wife, poised and direct. Well done, gasps rippled through the room. It seemed Ethan hadn't told them the news yet. Sophie, you came to pick me up. Ethan spoke at just the right moment. His eyes were hazy with drunkenness. I couldn't tell where he was looking. I looked at him coldly. Get up. Let's go. I walked over. Dropped those words. Then left the room without a backward glance. Ethan followed me obediently, looking surprisingly docile. It was as if the person who had been unmovable moments before wasn't him. Chloe stood rooted to the spot, struggling to maintain her fake smile, her fingers turning white as she clenched them. When I left a few days ago, I didn't take anything from that house, and I returned the keys. Having no other option, I brought Ethan back to my little alley. I settled Ethan on the sofa. He looked completely drunk, mumbling something I couldn't understand. Perhaps it was the lighting and the alcohol, but I gently traced his brows and eyes. Honestly, Ethan was truly blessed by fate. Exquisite features, fair skin. Suddenly, Ethan grabbed my hand and placed it on his chest. His slurred words became clear. Sophie, don't leave me. Immediately, I was pulled back to reality. He was still quite obsessed with Chloe. The next morning, as the sky was just barely brightening, a gray hue promised rain. Silverwood was always rainy, and the old house always carried a mildewy smell. I sat by the window, gazing outside, lost in thought. That a sound came from the living room. Ouch, Sophie, are you trying to murder your husband? When woke up, he instinctively tried to roll over, only to realize he wasn't on our large bed at home. When I went out, Ethan was rubbing his neck, wincing in pain. Seeing me, his expression soured further. Sophie, why didn't you take me home? Why make me sleep on such a small sofa? My neck is stiff. His tone was just like before. I'm hungry, is there breakfast? He calmly walked into the kitchen and started rummaging around. Back when Ethan wasn't Mr. Liam, when he couldn't afford a house, we had lived here for a while. Noodles? I'll add a fried egg for you. I watched his familiar movements, remaining silent for a long time. You go rest, I'll handle it. There's honey in the fridge. Make yourself a cup. A hangover isn't a pleasant feeling. Hee. Thanks, wife. Ethan showed his first smile in days. I knew my wife still cared about me. The noodles were ready quickly. Chicken noodle soup with a fried egg, my most practiced dish. Wife, yours still tastes the best. Ethan ate the noodles heartily, as if nothing had changed. Ethan, I began, he said without looking up. What is it? Why bother? Everything had been made clear. So why keep acting like this? You're smart. Finish your noodles. Then sign the divorce papers. Ethan's hand, holding the chopsticks, paused for a moment. Then he continued to eat rapidly. Wife, the noodles are a bit bland. Put more salt next time. He picked up his bowl and chopsticks, heading towards the kitchen. Don't avoid the issue. Your behavior right now makes me think you don't want to let me go. Unexpectedly, Ethan stopped. Sophie, do you really not understand what I mean? I'm not getting a divorce. His tone was firm, his expression the familiar serious one. I was momentarily speechless. He seemed about to say something else, but a phone call interrupted him. Both of us looked down at our phones simultaneously. Chloe, in an instant, the previous atmosphere vanished. I glanced at him, then walked around Ethan and behind him. Ethan's expression looked annoyed, but he answered the call anyway, as expected. How could he miss Chloe's call? I understand. All right. Wait there for me. Don't move. I'll be right there. The house was so small, I couldn't help but overhear. Sophie, Chloe, you don't need to tell me. I hurriedly cut him off. I didn't care about him and Chloe. Go ahead. When you come back, remember to sign the papers. The I remembered was upright and untainted by any unpleasantness. Ethan clenched his fists, as if suppressing something, then plunged into the misty rain without a word. Well, that's that. The rain continued for 3 days, and I didn't leave the house for 3 days. On the morning of the 3rd day, the sky cleared. I stretched at the doorway. The air after the rain carried the scent of earth. A deep breath was invigorating. I stretched my neck and saw the long closed gate of the courtyard on my left was open. I could distinctly hear my heart beating. 1 beat, 2 beats. By the time I realized it, my feet had uncontrollably moved towards it. The person inside came into view, and my eyes immediately welled up. Liam. He was back. The person who had occupied half of my youth was suddenly standing before me. The man's eyes held a smile. Perhaps it was the cleansing of years, but most of his previous hostility was gone, replaced by the gentleness that time brings. My hand trembled as I reached out, only belatedly realizing my action. Just as I thought of pulling it back, he grabbed my hand. What's wrong? Why are you so timid now? It was warm. You're back, really back? It's me. I'm back. All right. You're too old to be crying now. Liam reached out to wipe my tears, and I instinctively flinched away. Both he and I froze. I didn't know how to explain. For a moment, I had actually thought of Ethan Hartley eating noodles. Sophie, I'm back. I took a deep breath, nodding, with that one sentence. I truly felt he was standing before me. Am I interrupting? I turned my head. Ethan was standing at the doorway. I hadn't noticed when he arrived. From his expression, he must have witnessed everything. Sophie, this is? Liam asked me, meeting his gaze. I felt a pang of guilt, unsure how to respond. In a few steps, Ethan was in front of us, a smile on his face. Sophie is shy, don't ask her. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ethan, Sophie's legal husband. I wondered if it was just my imagination, but Ethan seemed to grit his teeth slightly on those last 4 words. Excuse me, Mr. Liam, Sophie and I have some marital matters to discuss. We'll be leaving now. With that, Ethan forcefully pulled me back to my courtyard. The door was shut with a loud bang. I had no doubt that if Ethan had used any more force, the glass in the door would have shattered. Sophie, look at me. Ethan lifted my chin, forcing me to meet his gaze with a strong attitude. It was then I realized Ethan's expression was truly terrifying. It reminded me of the first time I saw him, near this very alley. He had stood before me with the same fierce intensity, a cold expression, helping me chase away those hooligans as I thought. Ethan spoke, it turns out, you truly don't care about me at all. The intensity around him suddenly softened, revealing an inexplicable sense of desolation. Sophie, do you have a heart? Take a good look at me, Ethan pushed back his hair, and only then did I notice, his scar was gone. The one he got saving me. Yes, the scar is gone. Do I still resemble him? I moved my lips but didn't know what to say. So that's why you were in such a hurry to get a divorce? He's back, and you can't wait. His voice was soft, yet each word struck my heart. He knew. Sophie, I'm asking you. He walked towards me. Were you so good to me because of him? No matter what I did, you never got angry. So was that scar truly because I saved you? Or did he have one too? Ethan's voice grew into a roar. His eyes red-rimmed as he slowly, step by step, cornered me. What about you? Why were you with me? Wasn't it because of Chloe? The Chloe you constantly mumbled. Who was that really? You're right. Ethan's laugh turned a bit desolate. Who was the Sophie I called? Sophie, don't you have a heart to understand? I gave an indifferent smile. We're 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, aren't we? For you to accuse me now, acting betrayed, isn't that a bit ridiculous? We both know where we stand. Parting amicably is the best outcome for both of us, isn't it? Ethan remained silent for a long time then, after a while. You won't believe anything I say now, will you? After a long pause, he finally spoke, his voice hoarse. Will you marry him? Before I could react, he continued. Will you sleep with him? I didn't answer, not because I didn't want to, but because I truly didn't know the answer myself. I had waited for him for too long. It seemed I was only accustomed to waiting. My silence, however, Ethan took as an affirmation. He said cruelly, forget about it. Sophie, don't dream of living happily ever after with him. My life can include widowhood, but never divorce. With that, he left without looking back, his retreating figure filled with a desperate resolve. I sat on the stool, lost in thought for a long time. One moment, it was Ethan's fierce declaration that divorce was a pipe dream. The next, it was the scar above Liam's brow. The past was always chaotic. and it tangled itself in my heart. Sophie, I'm coming in. The main door was unlocked, and I hadn't even noticed when Liam had walked over. I snapped back to reality, quickly composing myself. Liam, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were back. I should have prepared a welcome home dinner for you. Liam looked at me. Sophie, I'm sorry. I turned to pour him some water. No need to apologize, Liam. If anything, you've helped me so much. I should be thanking you. I was an orphan with no parents. The family held significant influence in Silverwood, and I was one of the children they sponsored. If there was anything special about it, it was simply that I had met Liam. His mother was in her second marriage, and he had an older half-brother from his father's side. All right, let's not talk about that. It's lunchtime. Want to grab a bite? Sure, I readily agreed. Liam took me to a place we used to frequent when we were in school, a noodle shop. Owner, 2 chicken noodle soups, with fried eggs. The restaurant was in a secluded spot, but the food was delicious, and customers came and went constantly. Sophie, after all these years, have you been well? This sounded like the opening of a romance drama, where the unfaithful man returns after years to seek reconciliation with the heroine. Unfortunately, Liam wasn't the unfaithful man, and I wasn't his heroine. Liam and I had always been more than friends, less than lovers. It was a cliché storyline. For my sake, he argued with his family, then got into a car accident and spent a week in the ICU later. His mother told me he had to go abroad for treatment and hoped I wouldn't disturb him anymore. That's how we went 3 years without seeing each other. Losing contact. Liam, how's your leg? I remembered his mother saying his leg was the most severely injured. A momentary blankness flashed in Liam's eyes, then vanished. My leg is fine now, no different. That's good, that's good. I feared such an excellent person might have had his life ruined because of me. Here are your noodles, enjoy. Here, try it. Does it still taste the same as before? Liam thoughtfully arranged my chopsticks. The meal lasted a long time. Then we went to a nearby park to digest. During that time, we reminisced about many past events. 2 people who hadn't seen each other for years could only lay out their past and rehash it repeatedly. It was already nightfall when we returned. I stood at the door. Liam, thank you. I heard you're about to take over the Zhao. Congratulations. Get some rest. Good night. I had never felt so relaxed. For 3 years, I had trapped myself in the past, always believing I had almost caused his death. But now, I felt relieved. Sophie, Liam called out to me. Yes, Liam. I came back. Not too late, right? He didn't say it explicitly, but I understood. 3 years ago, we hadn't gotten together. We were just short of acknowledging the obvious unspoken truth. What about now? Liam, seeing you like this is already enough for me. We can't change the past, and no one can say what the future holds, right? Okay, I understand, but I want you to know, I'm back, and I'm here for you. I smiled at him. The person before me suddenly overlapped with the person from my memory. That person had also told me, I'm here for you. Pushing open the door, the house was dark. I turned on the light and suddenly noticed a figure sitting on the sofa. What are you doing here? I asked somewhat fiercely, changing into my slippers. I just came to see whose wife wasn't home late at night. I'm checking for any straying wives. I'll cut them down. Ethan's tone was incredibly sour. I scoffed internally. Then why are you looking at me? Go look at your little Chloe. Did he really think I didn't know what H been up to these past few days? Ethan, control yourself and the people around you. Don't let them bother me, okay? I pulled out my phone, found the messages, and showed them to him. Tell your childhood sweetheart she's seriously interfering with my daily life. That's illegal. Chloe had been sending me messages these past few days. No, not just these days, but ever since that day I picked Ethan up. The messages hadn't stopped. It'd block one, and another would pop up. Ethan picked up his phone, his face growing darker and darker. Sophie, what does brother like to eat? I remember he liked everything I made, right? He wasn't picky when you 2 ate, was he? Sophie, I'm so sorry. Ethan has been by my side these past few days. I tried to convince him to go back, but he wouldn't. Sophie, it's not like that. Ethan began to explain. Don't say anything. I don't want to hear it. I interrupted him with an impatient look. Ethan obediently remained silent, just watching me intently. After a while, he said with conviction, You're angry. I looked at him, confused. Was that the point right now? Aren't you? Sophie, are you angry? Ethan seemed to have discovered a new continent. I turned away uncomfortably. I had to admit, a little spark of anger had indeed been present. You've changed. You're different. You never used to get angry with me. What? Did going out with Liam change your temper? Are you sick, Ethan? I looked at him incredulously. What did this have to do with Liam? I simply had a change of heart, but that glance did reveal something different about him today. He had changed his usual style of dress, and his hair seemed different too. I deliberately ignored the odd feeling in my heart and walked past him. All right, I'm tired. I'm going to rest. You should leave now. The next morning, I woke up to a fragrant aroma. You're awake. Wash your hands and eat. It was Ethan. Why didn't you leave? Ethan ignored me. Hurry up and wash, then come eat breakfast. I walked to the dining table. 2 plates of scrambled eggs and toast. Why didn't you go back? I repeated the question. Ethan's previously smiling face instantly turned cold. He lifted his eyelids, looking at me chillingly. You want me to leave? To make room for that pretty boy? Sophie, let me tell you. You can dream on. I looked at him incredulously. Was he crazy? I had an extra person in my house. Couldn't I ask? The scrambled eggs and toast are good. It was nice not having to cook myself. While I was eating, my phone buzzed with a string of messages. I opened them to see my college friend had sent them. Sophie, you've made it. Are you and Liam back together? Awesome, awesome. Never thought you two would get back together after all these years. I told you you two were meant to be. But what about Ethan? I read these messages completely confused. What was going on? What about Liam and me? My fingers flew across the keyboard. Where did you see this? The reply came just as quickly. Oh. No need to be shy with me. You two are trending. I clicked on the screenshot she sent. It clearly showed me and him eating noodles yesterday. Was I photographed? I understood now. Ethan saw my troubled expression, walked over, and glanced at my phone. His face turning as black as a pot. The picture clearly stated I was Ethan's wife, yet I was with Liam. Don't overthink it. This is probably aimed at me. The group was currently negotiating for a major development project. If he secured it, Ethan would undoubtedly become the undisputed #1 in Silverwood, and the Lou would ascend to another level. Eat your breakfast. I'll go back and handle this. Ethan walked to the door, pondered for a moment, then said, Sophie, I told you clearly that when I married you, I committed to you. You are my wife, Ethan's wife, for life, so don't think about things you shouldn't. His words made me pause for a moment. When we got married, he seemed to have said something similar. His exact words were, Chloe, you are my wife, the person I've chosen. Could it be that he said Sophie back then, not Chloe? Had I misunderstood all along? Something in my heart seemed to crack. I picked up the bowl, tittied up, and as I looked down, I saw many uncooked noodles in the trash can. I found it somewhat amusing. Could someone really be so petty? That same morning, Liam found me and invited me to a coffee shop. It was clear he had also seen the news. After he ordered to drinks, we found a place to sit. I'm sorry, Sophie, I didn't expect. Liam's expression was full of guilt. I sighed. You really don't need to apologize to me. You never owed me anything. Silence fell between us. Sophie, why are you here? I turned my head. It was Chloe speaking, and next to her stood Ethan, whose expression wasn't exactly cheerful. Hadn't he gone back to handle things at the company? Why was he here? He was holding 2 coffees. I scoffed internally, my expression growing even more displeased. It was truly impressive of him. Such a big company, yet he still had time to buy 2 coffees. I wasn't sure where this anger came from, but I suspected it was simply because I found them annoying. Sister, don't misunderstand. I really wanted coffee from here, so I asked Ethan to come buy it. It was the same old story. I was annoyed by her sugar-coated manipulation. Mr. Liam, do you mind if we join you? Of course not, Liam said with a smile, portraying a perfect gentleman. Ethan sat down next to me, while Chloe bit her lip slightly, having no choice but to sit next to Liam. New love, old flame, a perfect 4-way love triangle. No, Liam and I weren't lovers. Suddenly, Ethan handed me one of the coffees, coconut latte. This coffee shop is good. I originally planned to bring it home for you. Liam saw his action and smiled. Sophie doesn't drink lattes. Just then, the drinks we had ordered were brought over. Here you go, cappuccino. Liam pushed the cup towards me. Sophie? Both pairs of eyes stared at me, waiting for my reaction. I suddenly felt my breathing become erratic. Excuse me, I need to use the restroom. Kids choose. Intelligent adults take nothing. I stood in front of the sink, quietly reflecting on the events of the past few days. It was truly a tangled mess. Sophie, you're quite cunning. Having 2 men wrapped around your finger. Chloe stood behind me, our eyes meeting in the mirror. Am I? What cunning methods do I have? Let me think. I don't seem to send texts or cling to people every day, do I? I smiled at Chloe, my eyes devoid of warmth. Chloe, let me warn you. I helped Ethan build his empire from scratch. I've seen every kind of situation, and your little games don't impress me. They were merely childish antics for attention. My ignoring them didn't mean I would tolerate them indefinitely. Unexpectedly, Chloe suddenly laughed, speaking with great confidence. You truly don't care? I saw the flicker of jealousy and anger in your eyes clearly. Ask yourself, what are your true feelings for Ethan? We're both women, and women understand women best. I had to admit, her question directly pierced through my pretense. Sophie, admit it. You've fallen for Ethan. Was I truly divorcing Ethan because of Liam? Or was it because I couldn't stand him being with Chloe, and my repeated tolerance for his actions, or perhaps that faint, almost imperceptible surge of secret delight in my heart when I heard his resounding declaration, his firm rejection of divorce? So, yes, I had indeed fallen for Ethan. I lowered my head and splashed cold water on my face. After it cleared my head, the thought still lingered. Chloe. I looked at her. Thank you. The person in front of me was utterly bewildered by my reaction, looking like she'd seen a ghost. Ethan told me they're about to get that major development project. Who do you think will accompany him to the event? Me or you? Chloe smiled confidently, like a victor, perhaps to her. This was victory. Our pursuits had always been different. As I walked out, Ethan had already left for some reason. Liam was waiting for me at the entrance. Let's go. I nodded. As we reached my doorstep, Liam spoke. Do you have time in a few days? My family is having a gathering, and I'd like you to accompany me. I could sense Liam's careful deliberation as he spoke. Attending a family gathering, everyone understood what that implied. Just as I was about to speak, my peripheral vision caught some movement inside the house. I smiled. A thought suddenly sparked in my mind. Opening the door and seeing the figure in the living room, I had already gotten somewhat used to it. Didn't you go to the company to handle things? Why are you back again? Ethan pointed to the laptop in front of him, implying, my wife is about to run off with someone else, so I'm working from home. Ethan paced back and forth in front of me, finally unable to resist asking, did you say yes to him? Say yes to what? I pretended to be clueless. You're deliberately asking. Ethan stood in front of me, looking down, almost as if he wouldn't move until I spoke. Didn't you overhear everything? Why ask me? Sophie, don't think I won't bother with you just because I haven't. Don't be so flippant. I haven't even questioned you about the coffee shop incident today, so confess. The coffee shop. He brought it up, and had almost forgotten. I shot him a sidelong glance. I haven't asked you about your situation with Chloe, and you're blaming me. I'm serious, Sophie. I'm not joking. It's not because I'm petty and don't want you to interact with him. He and his family are not simple. Ethan's hands gripped my shoulders, his expression more serious than I had ever seen. Seeing him like this, I couldn't bear to tease him anymore. I know everything, you know? Ethan pouted sorely. You know he's a pretty boy. That's more like it. I thought it was time to address things directly. I might as well lay everything out. I know everything. I brushed his hands away. I know he arranged for those photos to be taken, and he leaked the news. That area was remote. Rarely would anyone stake it out. Moreover, news about the Zhao family wasn't something you could just release. Even when Liam had that car accident, the news was heavily controlled, with media outlets uniformly stating he was just studying abroad. So, if the Zhao family hadn't allowed it, it wouldn't have happened. Ethan's face was filled with surprise, having not expected Sophie to be so perceptive. Sophie smiled at him without speaking, knowing there was much more to it. I also knew that his family hadn't forced him to study abroad. It had been his own choice. The excuse about his leg being severely injured was merely a pretense for me. Liam's grandfather was failing, and it was uncertain whether the family business would be handed over to Liam or his brother. My silence didn't mean I knew nothing. The assets tied to Ethan's business were Sophie's and Ethan's shared property. If they divorced, Sophie would own half, which would be a significant boost for Liam's current situation. But in Sophie's heart, she still held a special place for the young man who had been by her side for half her youth and saved her from hardship. Some things, she just chose to ignore. You knew all that, and you still went out for coffee with him. And you still like him? He uttered the last part very reluctantly. I went out for coffee with him to see how far our long-standing friendship would go. But I didn't expect you to show up. As for liking him, I don't. Ethan paused, his expression full of surprise. You don't like him anymore? What? You have a problem with that? No, absolutely not. Ethan immediately jumped up. His happiness was palpable, more so than even on the day Lou went public. The tension between Sophie and Ethan had eased somewhat, but that was the extent of it, as expected. Ethan secured the major development project. On the day of the gala, I got ready early and arrived in the main hall. It was Lou's celebration banquet, and I had every reason to attend, but I hadn't expected to see Chloe even before the festivities began. She wore exquisite makeup, but her face was twisted into a snarl as she walked towards me. Sophie, I knew you'd be here. It was you, wasn't it? Chloe gnashed her teeth. It must have been something you told Ethan. That's why he rejected me. He's ignoring me. How can he ignore me? He's all I have left now, Chloe said. Then, as if a thought struck her, she suddenly lunged forward. Sister, I beg you, give him back to me, okay? Finishing her plea, tears streamed down her face, belying the image of the refined young lady she once was. Miss, don't get it wrong, Ethan isn't my possession, and he has no connection to me. Please stand up, don't do this. I bent down, intending to help her, but to my surprise, she suddenly became agitated, pushing me away with force. I stumbled and fell to the ground. Ouch, Sophie. Ethan saw the scene from a distance and quickly ran over. The way he called Sophie a picture of mutual affection. Was I really supposed to have harmed her? The next instant, heavy breathing filled my ears. Sophie, are you all right? My body stiffened. Was he actually calling my name, Sophie? What's wrong? Where does it hurt? Don't stop talking. Ethan's voice grew increasingly anxious. I'm fine. Using his strength, I stood up. Chloe was clearly agitated by the scene before her. You promised my father you'd take care of me forever. What are you doing? Let go. Ethan's eyes now held an undisguised fury. I did promise Uncle. But if it weren't for his sake, do you think you'd still be standing here unharmed? No. You can't be like this. Facing, Chloe became even more pitiful. The next moment, she stopped sobbing. I'm sorry, Ethan, I was too impulsive. This sudden change caught everyone off guard. She lowered her head, drawing closer, her voice growing increasingly mournful. I'm truly sorry. I've caused you trouble. I understand now, Ethan. Please don't worry. It was my foolishness. She walked up to me. I won't bother sister anymore. After all, suddenly, she swiftly pulled out a utility knife from her bag and lunged at me, her face contorted in a sinister smile. What's there to worry about with a dead person? The sudden turn of events froze me. It was true, in the face of danger, one's legs really did turn to jelly. Watch out. The expected pain didn't come. A familiar figure embraced me. Ethan, I knew my voice was trembling. Call 911. Quick. Call 911. The scene changed with astonishing speed. Security guards rushed in and apprehended Chloe like a lost child. I slid to the ground, holding Ethan. Don't cry, Sophie. Ethan struggled to lift his hand. Sophie replied. I won't cry, Ethan. Don't fall asleep. Please don't scare me. I'm not asleep. I'm just a little tired. Sophie, let's not fight anymore, okay? Okay. I grabbed his hand. We won't fight anymore. We'll be together and be happy. As the saying goes, people only learn to cherish something once it's lost. The moment Ethan fell in front of me, all I wanted was to hold him tightly and tell him, I love you. The day Ethan was discharged from the hospital was a beautiful day. Fortunately, Chloe's strength was limited, and the injury wasn't critical. A period of rest and recovery would be enough. I hadn't expected to see Liam at the hospital entrance. I had intended to pretend I didn't see him, but he called out to me, Sophie. I glanced at Ethan. His eyes were practically rolling heavenward. 5 minutes, I'll be right back. Then I turned back to him. Mr. Liam? He gave a wry smile. Does it have to be like this between us? You know everything, don't you? What are you referring to? The photos? Or 3 years ago? Or the fact that you brought Chloe in this time? Chloe didn't have an invitation, so she shouldn't have been able to get in. Later, it was discovered that Liam had given Chloe the invitation. Liam's face registered astonishment. You really did know everything. You don't need to apologize. Really, I cut him off. I'll say it again. You have your reasons for doing things, and I have my ways of handling them. Some things lose their meaning once they're explicitly stated. Liam fell silent for a moment. Believe it or not, I never intended to hurt either of you. Letting in was also my way of trying to see you and Ethan, but never mind. There's no point in talking about any of this now, however. Can you truly accept his childhood romance with Chloe? I trust him. Those 4 words conveyed my entire stance, after all. The moment he stood in front of me, willing to sacrifice his life, I felt it was worth it. Ethan had told me while he was in the hospital that, like me, Chloe's family had shown him kindness, and he felt he had to help them. Over time, everyone misunderstood. Remembering the way H explained it to me last time, I couldn't help but smile. Sophie, what will it take for you to believe me? The time I stood you up was because she used her dad to trick me. When I got there, my phone was taken away. I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd overthink it. At the time, Ethan's expression was so aggrieved, as if H burst into tears if I didn't believe him. And I can explain about the photos too. That was her surprising move. And I pulled away immediately. If you don't believe me, ask anyone who was there. They can all testify. I'll call them right now. Another second, and I wouldn't be able to clear my name. All right. I believe you. Now, let me ask you one more question. Why did you marry me? I looked at him. This was a loaded question. If he said anything I didn't want to hear, I smiled ominously. But to my surprise, with my simple question, Ethan's ears suddenly turned red. The day I saw you, your hair was in a ponytail, and I thought, that girl is truly beautiful. As I thought about it, a smile, one I hadn't even noticed myself, touched my lips. Liam saw my smile and paused. It seems he truly is exceptional. Thank you. I smiled with composure. It seems my visit here was pointless. I'm leaving. I wish you happiness. Liam had arrived quietly and left without a fuss. He's long gone. What are you still looking at? Do you want me to drag him back for you? A warm breath tickled my ear, and his voice was slightly gritted. I shot him a glance, ignoring him. H been incredibly jealous these past few days, getting possessive over anything. He had practically dissected every interaction between Liam and me. I rolled my eyes at him and said nothing. Hey, Sophie, get this straight. You were the one who said you liked me. A few days ago, in the hospital, I had been pressured into saying those 4 words. Recalling that scene, a blush crept onto my cheeks. I turned back and glared at him. It was true. You couldn't coddle people. Their nerve just grew thicker. Time would tell all. I figured that someone who could stay by my side through everything couldn't be all bad. Come on, let's go home. Scrambled eggs and toast or chicken noodle soup. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comment section.